Hi, it's Dre Griggs of Saying Wisdom. Today we're answering the question, what is the average retirement age in the U.S. and how long do we tend to be retired for? I found a pretty interesting article that I wanted to share with you guys. This one was actually put together by the Motley Fool, and it goes over the average age that people retire. Now, if you had to guess, I'm sure you would guess that people retire in their 60s, and you would be right. But as you can see from this article, people used to retire at 61 years old, and that number has been steadily climbing for years. Now, on the one end, a large reason for that is because Social Security has been steadily increasing the age that we would be considered fully retired. And because Social Security is the number one benefit of most people's retirement plan, then if you're not considered fully retired until 67, as it is for those that are born in 1960 or later, then a lot of people feel like they want to keep working. Another reason is we actually live a little bit longer, and I'll show you a couple charts that really shows this. And in this one, you'll see the average retirement age versus the expected retirement age. I actually did another video, and I'll put a link in the description to where I go over the 8 reasons that people retire earlier than they expect. But you can see in 2022, people expected to retire at 66, and they actually ended up retiring at 61. You can see that that number roughly ends up being about 5 years for the most part. And so you can see in 2002, the average retirement age was 59. And then you can also see that people expected to retire at 64. The number does bridge a little closer. And then in 2021, people expect to retire at 64. They actually retired at 62. So there are times that the number is actually aligned. And you can see this chart goes over each of the reasons as well. So you're able to see that, yeah, it's about 5 years on average is the difference between when we expected and we actually retired. And you'll find that even though people are retired earlier than they expected, that people are working longer than they have in the past. And a lot of that has to do with just how long we're living. The way you'll read this chart is we're saying that each of these age groups, this is the percentage of that age group that is retired. So we're saying that from 2002 to 2007, if you were in the age group of 40 to 44, 2% of that age group is retired. 98% of that age group is working. We are saying that from 60 to 64, 41% of that age group is retired. 59% of that age group is still working. And then we'll say for 75 and older, 89%, almost 90% of that age group is retired, with about 11% of that age group still working. When you look at the numbers from 2016 to 2022, what we see is the people who are retired from 40 to 44 is now only 1% of the population, right? That is a decrease from 2002. Only 1% of that population is retired. You'll see that for those that are 55 to 59, in 2002, 19% of that population was retired. Well, that number has decreased to 11%. Almost 90% of people who are 55 to 59 are still working. They have not retired yet. And then when you look from 65 to 59, we had 76% of that population retired, and now only 70% of that population is retired. And so what you'll see from those numbers is that more and more people are continuing to work later and later into their retirement. And there are several key reasons people would continue working if they're able to. Number one is it increases the amount of Social Security income you have. Every year from 62 to 70 that you continue working, you get about an 8% increase on your monthly retirement income. Another benefit is you do not have to start withdrawing the money from your investments because you're still earning an active income. As a result, the money that you have now, you have fewer years that you need to be retired. And the last thing we'll talk about today is the average age that people retire and the average length of the person's retirement. The earlier that you retire, the fewer years that you have to use your investments. If you originally needed a plan that required $30,000 a year, but you had to do that for 30 years, well, that requires more money if you only needed 20 years of income to be generated from your investments. As a result, you increase the likelihood of success and you decrease the amount of money that you need for retirement. Another benefit is for a lot of people, you're able to get rid of a lot of the debt and you're able to take a lot more of the trip. So you're able to start checking things off the bucket list. You're able to build your perfect retirement lifestyle. And when you're able to allocate 50, 60, 70% of your paycheck, because you don't have kids and all these other obligations, you're really able to eliminate the debt, take these amazing trips. You're able to do so much great things that you still are able to generate another check the next month to be able to replenish these funds. Or if you already have the debt paid off, now you're able to put 50, 60, 70% of your paycheck in your investment funds, again, significantly increasing the amount of investments that you have. And then it also allows your money to continue growing because you don't have to dip into it. And the last reason, I'm not sure if I had mentioned it or not, I lost track, but the last reason is you don't have to dip into your investments. And because you're able to leave your money invested longer, the beauty of compounding interest gets to multiply. So you're able to see with people like Warren Buffett and different funds where the money starts increasing exponentially, where you have your money invested for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and then out of nowhere, your money is just growing significantly every single year. And so what you'll see here is in the 1970s, men can expect to live about 13 years in retirement, while women were expected to live about 16.6 years in retirement. And again, those numbers are no surprise. On average, women live longer than men. And then you'll see by 2020, the average expected length of retirement now increased to about 20 years for men and about 24 years for women. So again, we maintain about that 4-year difference. So women do need to plan on being retired for about 4 years longer than men, but we're still both planning to be retired for 20 to 25 years at a minimum, because that is the average. If you got great genes and you feel you're going to be retired for 30, 40 years, then we would need to put a plan together to keep you retired for 30 to 40 years. Now, for many people, I tell people, let's just go ahead and put a plan to live to 90 or even 100 years old, because then we know we've significantly increased the likelihood of us being successful. And even with the average life expectancy being in the late 70s, kind of early 80s, it is nice to have a plan together where you can sit back and say, I'm okay there. I'm not going to outlive my money. It's not something I have to worry about. That's just a really nice way to enrich your peace of mind. As always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you giving it to me, sharing your time with me, watching this video. If you found value, go ahead and like and subscribe so you can continue receiving valuable insights on how to create your own wealthy retirement system so that you can worry less and live more. Until next time, stay safe and enjoy life.